Iran panics after Trump prepares a ground invasion by announcing they will take control of the Strait of Hormuz.
We'll be the guardian of the Strait, maybe even call ourselves its guardian angel. We should be paid for this.
A decision that can only be made if there is a ground invasion to establish strategic control on the Iranian coast. Donald Trump announced the resumption of the naval blockade against Iran. He declared that Washington will be the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Central Command confirmed new attacks against air defenses, coastal radars, missile positions, drones, and Revolutionary Guard vessels. At the same time, the aircraft carriers Abraham Lincoln and George H.W. Bush, as well as two large amphibious ships, remain deployed in the Middle East. The combination has set off alarms in Tehran because these actions specifically reduce the systems used to monitor the coast and prevent the approach of foreign forces. Trump says that the agreement was broken by Tehran and promises to respond with force.
We hit them hard last night. For every drone they sent, we responded accordingly. But we had an agreement that nobody knew about. It was a done deal, but they broke it. They always break it. We've already had 10 agreements with them, so we're going to hit them hard and keep the Strait under control.
What is Washington preparing off the Iranian coast? Why are the radars and defenses being taken out now? How will Iran react if American troops set foot on its territory? I'll tell you all about it in a moment. If you like this kind of straightforward and no-nonsense content, consider subscribing, because we post videos like this every day. Trump decided to tighten the siege after Tehran once again announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and began requiring authorization for official passage. Para passagem de embarcações. The American president stated that the United States will keep the route open with or without Iranian permission and announced a charge of 20 on cargo transported through the region as a way to pay for naval protection.
Yeah, we never win, we protect for free, and now we're going to protect, and we're going to get paid a lot of money to protect. But we just want to be reimbursed for doing all this, for putting our people in danger.
The United States Central Command confirmed strikes against air defense systems, coastal radars, missile sites, drone positions, and small military vessels. These targets protect the coastal strip and allow Iran to monitor approaching ships and planes. When these structures are destroyed in sequence, Washington creates room to control the sky, the sea, and strategic points along the coast. This doesn't prove that the invasion has already been authorized, but it creates the necessary conditions in case Trump decides to move forward. The naval buildup reinforces this interpretation. The United States maintains the aircraft carriers Abraham Lincoln and George H.W. Bush in the Middle East, accompanied by the amphibious ships Tripoli and Boxer. Aircraft carriers support attacks and provide air cover. Amphibious ships can transport marines, helicopters, and landing craft. The simultaneous presence of these platforms gives Trump the ability to increase airstrikes, protect commercial convoys, and carry out a limited occupation of Iranian territory, without announcing a long campaign beforehand. The strongest warning came from retired General Frank McKenzie, former commander of Central Command. In an interview aired on July 12th, he stated that American forces have the capability to control the Strait of Hormuz and even take Karg Island, the main oil export point of Iran. McKenzie said that holding Iranian territory could increase Washington's leverage in future negotiations. He didn't talk about a march to Tehran, but he publicly presented seizing Iranian territory as one of the possible options. When a former regional commander defends this measure on national television, the idea is no longer just a rumor. The port of Duqm in Oman also came onto the radar after images allegedly showing a maritime support ship linked to American special operations began circulating. The presence of this vessel has not yet been officially confirmed as part of an invasion plan. Even so, Duqm offers access to the Arabian Sea and is located outside the narrowest stretch of the Strait of Hormuz. For Tehran, any American reinforcement in this area increases the suspicion that Washington is preparing ways to come in via the coast or support a quick takeover of islands and strategic facilities. Iran responded by launching attacks across the region. But this reaction also helps Trump make the case that Iranian structures need to be neutralized before new attacks reach bases and trade routes. The tension became even more serious after the attack on the GFS Galaxy, a container ship flying the flag of Cyprus. The vessel was hit by an unidentified projectile while crossing the Strait of Hormuz. 23 crew members were rescued by the Omani Navy, but the Indian engineer was still missing. Iran stated that it fired a warning shot because the ship was following an unauthorized route. For Washington, the incident showed that Tehran intends to decide which vessels are allowed to pass and to use force against those who do not accept its rules. The crisis also reached Yemen. The Yemeni government, supported by Saudi Arabia, stated that it had struck the runway of Sana'a International Airport to prevent the landing of an Iranian Mahan airplane.
Turn here, turn this way, come back, come back, come back. At this moment, dear viewers, as you can see, aggressive airstrikes on Sana'a International Airport are ongoing. There have been 2 strikes that hit the runway. On the runway here, as you can see. An aggression of its kind. Chico, go ahead.
The aircraft was carrying a Houthi delegation returning from the ceremonies for the death of Ali Khamenei and ended up landing in Rodeida. The Houthis accused Saudi Arabia of carrying out the bombing and promised retaliation. Yahya Saree stated that the de-escalation phase was over. The episode shows that the pressure against Iran has already reached the corridor used by its allies in Yemen and could reopen a front that had remained relatively contained. Trump increased the pressure even further by stating that Ali Khamenei is gone and that his son Mostabba would be out of the way. The president also said that Iran has lost much of its navy, its air force, and its defenses.
They have nothing. Without a navy or air force, it's all over. Their air defense is gone. All their leaders have been killed. Their best leaders have been killed. They're gone. Khamenei is dead. His son is already gone, and the New York Times says they're better off today. And their inflation is at 350%.
Tehran now faces an explosive combination. The coast is under attack. Commercial traffic dropped by about 52% in just a few days, and Brent crude oil rose more than 4% this Monday. The regime is trying to maintain control of the Strait of Hormuz, protect its allies, and respond to the United States at the same time. Washington is increasing its naval presence and openly discussing the possibility of taking an Iranian island to use as a political advantage. The possible ground invasion could start in a limited way, with the occupation of an island, an oil terminal, or a coastal strip, without a campaign to take over the whole of Iran. This option would allow Trump to pressure Tehran, open the strait, and claim a military victory without ordering a deep advance into the territory. With each new Iranian attack against American commercial or military ships, with the government trying to protect American presence, this alternative could move from rhetoric to operational orders. Thank you very much for watching this video until the end. Support our project and contribute financially through the Pix payment key that appears on your screen. We are an independent channel focused on bringing you the truth. Your contribution helps us keep going.